and welcome back to the Underestimate Antoine edition of AEW Dynamite Out 10, and we're just days away from Double or Nothing, but there were still some booking decisions to be made heading into the pay-per-view, including who will face Jericho for the FTW title, and yeah, we also had some interesting matches booked for this week's episode of Dynamite, starting off with a big tag team match, Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay against Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong. After an opening package that featured clips from the Furiosa music, this match got underway. Don Callis was on commentary and indicated that both Ospreay and AC were allies of his, but the latter was yet to make any clear indication he even knows who Callis is. As soon as the bell rang, Cassidy hopped off the apron and went after Beretta while the aerial assassin traded shots with Strong in the ring. What unfolded was an energetic and chaotic match. All four men put a lot of effort into the commentary team and did a great job addressing the storylines and some past interaction between men who found themselves as partners. Wardlow shoved up and took out Ospreay, paving the way for Strong to pin OC for the win. The beatdown of Ospreay continued by the Undisputed Era while Beretta kept going on after Cassidy on the ramp. The aerial assassin was busting open as Cassidy was choked out, and I thought this was a really good way to establish the heels as threats to the people who may consider the babyfaces as the favourites come Sunday. So yeah, this worked really well for me. 7 out of 10. It was then time for Hook against Brian Keith against Shibata to determine who would get the FTW title match, but the Bang Bang Gang came out before that and met with a reunited Death Triangle and rushed the ring and attacked Jay White, Austin and Colton Gunn, which is really interesting, and yeah, definitely sets up a new dynamic in that story. But Jericho and Big Bill were on commentary to watch the action. Keith was cornered by Hook and Shibata, but then they both had a brief stare down. The Bounty Hunter took them down. A lot of triple threat matches ended up being a series of one-on-one exchanges while they take turns selling, but all three competitors were heavily involved. It made it more entertaining. Keith ended up tapping out on Shibata and Hook at the same time, so Hook and Shibata were both declared the winner, which means we'll get a triple threat match, a slightly convoluted way of getting there, sort of similar on NXT recently, but yeah, I thought, it worked quite nicely and gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I think, yeah, that's probably the best match that we had available, and I think, yeah, those three in a triple threat match, hopefully Jericho doesn't come away with the belt, but we'll have to see. I thought it was decent. 7 out of 10. We then got Konosuke Takeshita taking on Matt Sydal. After a couple of appearances, Takeshita made his way out and Sydal didn't have an entrance. The bout was predictable. Sydal enhancement talent made it more obvious. He got a bit of offense in, but it was a glorified squash. Takeshita picked up the win easily. It's a shame for Sydal being treated like this, but made Takeshita look like a beast, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Swerve then took on Nick Wayne. They had a bloody match on the indie scene last year, and Swerve attacked Wayne Jones' previous feud, so there's no love lost. Once the Goni got underway, Wayne, he was whipped with a belt, which probably should have caused DQ. These two know each other well, so they weren't holding much. We saw some shift strikes and big bumps without either man taking unnecessary risks. Even though the match was fun, it wasn't exactly competitive. Swerve put on a dominant performance and getting a relatively comfortable win. Christian and Swerve ended up fighting. Number one contender narrowly escaped a brutal chair shot and ran away. So yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was decent enough without really filling me with too much excitement, because I think we all knew what was coming. Before it's time for Kyle O'Reilly against Malachi Black. Black was out for his first match against O'Reilly. He had Erlen Coden's wedding ring with him and treated it like a priority one. Both of these men incorporated a lot of kickboxing techniques into their wrestling, so it was almost like a shoot fight. The way they worked helped set this apart from everything else on the show. Despite the entire bout being even, Black was able to get a victory with a patented spinning kick. This was one of the best matches of the night because it felt so unique and gave two great performers a chance to shine on their own. After some flickering lights, tons of blood dropped from the rafters onto Black. Copeland addressed him from the big screen and told him to be careful what he wishes for. And I do have to say, this was a pretty sick conclusion to a really fun match, and definitely got me more hyped with Copeland and his darker persona coming out. So yeah, I thought this was really good and gets 7 out of 10 from me. We then got Tony Storm and Ryan May against Saraya and Hari Cameron, and yeah, known collectively as the Outcasts, according to the announcer, took on May and Storm. May and Cameron started for their teams, and the former Stardom talent overpowered the XQTV correspondent taking control. The bout had a steady pace, and he made sure this was to serve a lot of big moves instead of trying to pack in as many as possible. Even though she stood most of the damage, Cameron stood out here. She looked better with each mate she has, and knows how to sell for her opponents well. The crowd chanted, "This is awesome," as all four of them got timeless Tony for a pin in her team, but her celebration was short-lived. Dean showed up and took out Storm, May and Luther wheelchair and Hurst high heel. So yeah, I thought it was good. Built to that match nicely, and we also got a fun little match there as well. It did the job. There wasn't really too much doubt over the winner who would be, but I think it built up to that match nicely, so I'll go at 6 out of 10. We then got Bryan Danielson against Satnam Singh in a David Goliath to close the show. Danielson faced the Giant when he stepped into the ring with Singh, who had the whole pose at ringside. The American Dragon started strong with a series of kicks, but he quickly overpowered and brought out the ring. Dart tried to go to the announce table for Singh, but Danielson recovered and built to build some momentum. Singh, it's still early in his career and limited by his size, but Danielson can get a good match out of almost anybody, so this was more enjoyable than many expected. Danielson used Singh's team, distracting the ref to his advantage for a low blow, but the big man brushed it off without much trouble. Once Singh was locked in the bell knock, Singh's allies were attacked to cause a DQ. The Sparks eventually came out and gave Singh some money before attacking Danielson. Darby arrived with a flamethrower. Yeah, you read that right. A chaotic finish, but I thought it was decent, a fun way to build to the match. And I think it did its job in a way, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And overall, Dynamite gets a 6 out of 10. I think, yeah, it's a relatively low-key episode of Dynamite this week. Yeah, we got some quality matches on there, but I think a lot of the build was already done prior to this. And yeah, we just kind of did a few more pieces, but nothing really too major. So yeah, on the whole, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.